Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe. My name is Rick Lupert. You've arrived on week number 300 on the dot of our virtual series. How about that? Um, Glad to have you all here for our reading. In addition to our open reading, our featured reader tonight is Sneha Madhavan-Reese, some of which I'm sure I'm pronouncing correctly. And I appreciate your flexibility there, Sneha. I'm very happy that you were here with us. We're looking forward to your reading. We're going to do a few open readers first and then have you come on, and then we will have the rest of the open reading. If anyone would like to participate in the open and you haven't already done so, please send me a message in the chat and I will add you to the list. As always, 2 poems maximum. The suggested time limit is less is more. Make sure you have the chat room open since everyone is muted. That's where you can interact with each other. And of course, you can use the fancy reaction tools that Zoom has added to also react to what you're hearing people read. And I'm sure that is appreciated. So please do that if you would like to do that. Finally, we do have a one drink minimum here at the Cobalt Cafe. Make sure that you're honoring that in some way for some reason. I believe that is everything I need to tell you before we get going. Before we get going, though, I'd like to ask if there are any questions. Looks like Martin Parker was first to the hand up.
Oh, good evening, Rick. I was just wondering if you have a favorite place to walk.
Favorite place to walk? Well, I for sure walk the most frequently on the treadmill downstairs. Um, I don't know that it's my favorite, but it's where it happens almost all the time. And there's like a big screen so I can keep up to date on all the important Netflix shows that I'm watching on it, and forgetting that I'm actually exercising, which is sort of the whole trick. But we have a lovely neighborhood to walk in as well, though lots of hills. So it's a lot more effort to walk, but occasionally we'll see a coyote cross our path, and if we're really lucky, some bunnies nearby as well.
Nice. Yeah, my partner loves it when she runs across bunnies.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you, Martin. Good question. Any other questions? Cathabella.
Rick, if someone were walking near your home, um, in front or underneath, what I mean, on the street, could they see anything from your window that would make them feel like they knew who lived there or how the kind of person you were, or what would they, what could you say?
No, they couldn't see anything. We've got blinds, and we kind of keep it private from the street view. But you know what? They're welcome to come in and take a look and make their own more accurate determinations beyond what they might see from the generally blocked windows.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Cathabella. It looks like Bill Gaines has his hand up. Hi, Bill.
Hello, Rick. Speaking of walking, what is your favorite mode of walking? Do you strut? Are you into ambling? What is your mode of choice?
Now I hadn't thought of it before, but since you've said strut, it certainly feels like that would be the preferred method in sort of a John Travolta Saturday Night Fever way. That's probably my most favorite way to just strut down the street, as if there's a Bee
Bee
Gees,
Gees,
yeah, Bee Gees
Bee Gees.
soundtrack playing. Probably that would be my preferred way.
Maybe if you got a can of paint in your hand.
Sure. Did he? I don't remember that. Did he have a can of paint at one
Yeah,
point?
yeah. He's walking the opening sequence. He's got a can of paint walking down the sidewalk.
It's been a while. I'm gonna have to revisit.
Worth a
But
rewatch.
yeah, no doubt. All right. Thank you, Bill. Good question. Any other questions before we get going? Oh, Hermione, yes.
Okay. What are you watching on Netflix?
Oh, that's a big question. Well, I can tell you just to make it quick, I just finished the documentary about Martin Short,
Oh,
and it was really enjoyable. But I could spend the rest of our time together talking about all the things I'm watching on all the possible channels. So we're going to cut it at that. Hermione, thank you so much. All right, good set of questions, people. Thank you for allowing me to provide you these important insights. We're going to get on with our open reading now. 5 open readers, and then our featured readers, Sneha Madhavan-Reese, Ed Potastic. You are on deck. Please welcome our first reader, Ike Waltz. Hello, Ike.
Like you said, Rick, the random gods had spoken. Pride, pomp, and circumstances, and our glorious gods. God is nature, God is you. Your mind, your soul, your purpose. God is life, God is death. God has no color but gold, I'm told. God does not smell. God has many images. He's always old, so I can tell. God so invisible, God so visible, and so is hell. God does it so well to be everywhere. God is the moment of love and pain. God is our demise. God is our tears of sorrow and cheers. God is our eyes. God is our brother, your sister, even me. God is always the same, but he changes his name. God has also fun. That's why he gave us a gun. God is also the monster, so that in his name all that killing can be done. God picks no side, but the one whom he lets to enjoy killing the everyone. It takes only his selected one to start his blessed war. That blessed precision machine marching in a nightmarish dream, and when all is done, God locks the gun into the cabinet of AI forgiveness. Let's take a deep breath in time. Are you ready to pray every day for a God, your selected one? When all is done, God hides in the universe, and I feel so sorry for Mother Earth. God created man in his image. Faulty. This proves that God is faulty like man. Yes, we must pledge our commitment to each other. Intertwined with you, we are doomed. Bright pomp and circumstance of these endless glorious days. Only the gods can compete with reason. Worship them on our knees. Indeed, at every season, adoration for a deity, divine in being of supernatural power. Bow down to the gods. Don't dare to ask questions, as blasphemy will strike. Do not be afraid if you are a God-fearing man. The oxymoron speaks for itself. All that keeps me away from God is everything. All what I expect from God is everything. Yes, my brother is black. Why is it that you, that forgiving God is defending what is white in me? How do you define superiority? As God and I exist in a loop. Thank you.
I think just successfully started a new religion to start off our time together tonight. Thank you, Ike. Please send the membership forms, and we'll join you. Thanks for opening up the reading tonight as preordained. Round of applause for Ike Waltz. Thank you, Ike. On deck, Ken Scott. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed. Ed, are you there? All right. Well, not sure what's happened to Ed, so we're going to say Melody is on deck. And please welcome now Ken Scott. Hello, Ken.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I've got two pieces. The first piece that I'm going to do is a reflective piece on, I wanted to share the piece if I could. And this one is about where I am right now in life and what it's doing to me. And this piece is called Old. People tell me I'm old. They tell me I look old, sound old, think like an old person, like I'm out of date, no longer up with the times. I don't feel old at all. I feel weary, drained, wounded, betrayed, as if every single decade was a lie, an illusion, great American treachery hidden in plain sight. My body feels robbed, my soul exploited. Tearing off the global masks felt like nuclear detonations in my heart, wisdom vaporized, experience vitrified, empathy reduced to radioactive ash, while the gray hairs and the wrinkles argue over who arrived first to witness the inner catastrophe of a blood-soaked blindfold ripped away. They tell me I weep like an old man. I've seen too damn much. And these recent few years of revelation have savagely torn decades of dignity to withering shreds. That's that one. The next one that I'm going to do is a reflective piece on revolutions and what they should be expected to be and what they're not. This piece is called The Myth of Painless Revolutions. Revolution was never a commodity you could buy or sell, nor does it fit neatly into a schedule, nor does it make any top 10 most popular list, nor does it guarantee a feel-good experience, nor does it guarantee your safety. Revolution means planting a seed that will have to be watered with your blood, resulting in a tree whose shade you will have to enjoy from your coffin. Revolution means ceasing the performative no kings thing and finally engaging in the destructive actions that would move those would-be kings to use lethal force towards collecting your head on a silver platter. Revolution is a direct, violent attack on the capitalist system, a deadly assault against the Epstein class, and the complete disruption of all profits, power, and wealth acquisition. If any revolution against the tyranny of this world is painless, then it was never a revolution in the first place. It was merely another form of slavery.
The revolution starts here, Ken. Thank you so much for those words and thoughts. Thanks for being here. A round of applause for Ken Scott. Thank you, Ken. On deck, we're going to try Ed Potastic. Again, please welcome now Melody Anderson Bermudes. Hello, Melody.
Great. Hi, everyone. This poem I wrote a few years ago when my daughter was 17. She's now 21, but she has some similar problems. It's called If Love Was Enough. Love is a precious thing, a gift to be shared one by one with each of our 5 children. Sometimes it works, and sometimes, more often than not, it falls back on us. I don't want to be touched and leave me alone, are the responses we get from our 17-year-old child, who, despite what she says, wants love like everyone else. 2 days before Valentine's Day, an internet friend from Rhode Island calls us, worried about our child. We go to our child's room, what she calls the cave, and find her in tears. No one loves me, she cries out, snot coming out of her nose. We do, I say, speaking for myself and her other mother. Our child is in tears about her so-called internet friends. We get our child to the hospital for a 5150 mental health call with the help of her two older sisters. Love is everything, but if love was enough, our child would be happier. Our child came to us at 18 months, a foster child soon to be adopted. A bright child, self-trained because she did not like to be wet. After 4 older siblings, we thought she would be the easy one. Mental illness was a surprise, something we had to learn all about. Love is important, and we, the mothers, cannot give up. If our child is home from the hospital for Valentine's Day, we will surprise her with a heart-shaped box of candies. If not, we will continue to love her from afar and pray for happiness for our beloved child. We, the mothers, will do everything we can to make sure our child is safe, happy, and ever loved. Thank you.
Melody, thank you so much. It was nice meeting some of your children when you were our featured reader a couple of weeks ago. I hope they come back and read some more for us, and I'm glad you're documenting their stories in
Yes.
poems. It's a good thing. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Melody Anderson-Bermudez. Thank you, Melody. 2 more readers, and then our featured reader, Sneha Madhavan-Reese, Denise Dumars. You are on deck. Please welcome now Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed.
Thank you, everyone, a host that we love the most, that deserve a toast and never ever boast, but goes coast to coast. Hello, my name is Ed Potastic. I'm feeling fantastic. Please give me time to join my rhyme, for I feel sublime. I got 2 pieces, so I take too much time. My first piece is called Funnel. Hello, my shrink. Why must I think? Pass me the funnel. Here comes the tunnel. Things are getting smaller. Things are getting taller. My ants quickly grow. Give me an overload. My grasshoppers are jumping. I can feel the thumping. I'm weaker than a worm. Here comes a storm. Why do I bother? I'm not much calmer. They grow in size, then wear a disguise. Why do they hide, then eat my pride? How is my childhood? It's kind of like adulthood. Take it, take it all in strife. The ups and downs of life. Life makes fools of us all, but how can we stand tall? My anthills are mountains. My sprinklers are fountains. My worries couldn't be a dry wall. I think, then I fall and crawl. Worrying won't change it. We have to take the hits. They are small, yet we're big. We are trees, but not twigs. Our problems aren't large. We need to show them who's in charge. Thank you. And this other one's called Jukebox. The universal language, the lavish of the vintage. Let the music play so we can get away. It serenades the soul, making us richly whole. It tingles our senses. It lowers our stresses. Do you feel the wind replaying over again? Sing loud and proud the joys of sound. Do you love hip hop? The beats don't stop. Do you love rock? The strong electric shock? Do you love country? The chant of the muddy? Do you love the blues? The gloom of the muse? Do you love jazz? The waltz in the gas? Do you love disco? The hustle's echoes? Do you love R&B? The soulful sea? Do you love classical? The precision of the impractical? Do you love bluegrass? The harmonious flash? Do you love pop rock? The squawk of the walk? Please pick your noise. It's your musical choice. You can love them all. You don't have to withdraw. Music is our religion. Without it, we live in treason. Thank you.
I love the concept of music as religion, Ed. So that may be the second religion we've started since we started the evening tonight. Hopefully, we won't have like crusades going back and forth or anything like that. But cool. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your work.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Ed Potastic. Thank you, Ed. On deck is our featured reader, Sneha. Please welcome our next reader, Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hi, for those of you who came late, I'm wearing a fez tonight in lieu of a flowered hat because I went to look for one and I don't have a flowered hat. Okay, I'm going to read one that's about a page long and I'm going to read a really short one. This one is from Tales of Southern California, Mythic Poetry, and it's called Bring Me the Head of Joaquin Murrieta. I understand they won't teach you about him in Temecula schools, just like they insist on dead naming trans kids. But I know that some Satanists out at the Salton Sea had Murrieta's head and tried to make it speak. But believe me, they weren't the first to try. Now in the town of Murrieta, they build big, big houses for all the polygamists whose second, third, fourth wives and all the kids are on the dole. But no one tells you about Joaquin Murrieta. As for me, I gave up on finding his head, although history tells us that a bunch of rangers grabbed it and put it on display. But then someone tried to sell me a dried banana in a box saying it was Rasputin's penis. You can get anything on Facebook Marketplace these days, but I was looking for one of those autographed photos of Tiburcio Vasquez that he used to sell out of his jail cell as one of our first famous convicts in dear old celebrity-obsessed California. And yeah, those sideways mountains, complements of seismic activity, got named after the legend in his own mind, Tiburcio. And I wrote a story about some Aleister Crowley wannabes trying to make a film out at Vasquez Rocks and how it all went horribly wrong. But you know, eBay let me down, and I never did find an authentic Vasquez photo. Oh well, you can call this stuff mythology, but it's really folklore and legends and gossip, except these people are real. But is anything real in California? I couldn't tell you for sure. They can't even say whether Walt Disney's head is actually cryogenically frozen. And by the way, I was born here in the South Bay. No, not that South Bay, the one in Los Angeles County. And are you really sure that I'm real? And this is a little shorty. I'm going to read it because it is nominated for an award, the Dwarf Stars Awards. Fairy ring on my lawn. Fairy ring on my lawn, emissaries in the sunlight of the brains of the operation, hidden deep within the ground, alien face in the grass, asking to speak to our real leader. Thank you.
Good one, Denise. I want you to know I live fairly close to Vasquez Rocks, so if you need me to go and take a picture of something, I live in Santa Clarita, so
Yeah.
I can just jet up there really quickly if there's a need.
It's very cool. It's a very cool place. Yeah. Super cool.
Also, I really liked you got me thinking that "Bring Me the Head of" would be a great prompt. Like just
It would be. A
make
whole
people,
anthology of it. Yeah.
yeah, write me a poem that begins with "Bring me the head of" and see where people go. So I'm adding that to my list of prompts to suggest to people whenever I get asked, which is never, but just in case. You know what I'm saying? Great job, great poems. Glad to hear your work and really nice fez. Round of applause for Denise Dumars. Thank you, Denise. On deck after our featured reader is the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, Siggy, and Rick, which leads us now to our featured reader, Sneha Madhavan-Reese. Sneha came to my attention thanks to Rattle magazine. A poem of hers got published in Rattle. And as I like to wax on about every morning before I get out of bed, I read the daily Rattle poem and the daily Poem a Day poem from Academy of American Poets. half of which for my own enjoyment, and the other half of which to find out which of these amazing poets can I get to come to Cobalt Poets. Sneha lives in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, where it is a million hours later than it is here in California. So thank you, Sneha, for staying up late for us and being here for our reading. It's very much appreciated. She's the author of two poetry collections, including Observing the Moon and Elementary Particles. The latter was a finalist for the Ottawa Book Award and longlisted for the Raymond Souster Award. Her writing has appeared in publications around the world, including the Best Canadian Poetry in English 2016. Although she lives in Canada, she was born in Detroit, Canada adjacent, and lives with her family in Ottawa. I'm so happy that you're here with us, Sneha. Thank you so much for being here. Please welcome our featured reader, Sneha Madhavan-Reese.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Rick, for inviting me to read tonight. Thank you all for being here. I'm Sneha. I am in Ottawa right now, which is the traditional territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people, and where it is also well past my bedtime, but I'm doing okay. I'm going to be reading mainly from my most recent book, Elementary Particles. This book has poems that combine my love of science with family stories and with my cultural heritage. The first poem I'll read is called Rosa Parks. The day her body was laid out for viewing, I was getting nothing useful done, so I left work early and drove downtown. The line of people wound all around the Museum of African American History. I wouldn't get to see her. The wait would be hours. I brought no coins to feed a meter, and there was nowhere else to park. A man approached to offer me all the change in his pockets. I'll always have fond memories of Detroit. The next poem I'll read is called Mapping. My father grew up in a small village in South India where, for a long time, the only industry was making rope by hand from coconut husk fibers. And I grew up in Michigan, where you may know we use the palm of our hand as a map. So this is Mapping. I was raised near the jutting out knuckle on the thumb of my right hand. A native Michigander, I was never without a map of the state, its lower peninsula shaped like an open palm. My lifeline traced the path of I-69. We took school field trips to Lansing in my Palm Center and vacationed at the tip of my pinky in the sands of the Sleeping Bear Dunes. We went on longer trips to India to visit my parents' relatives. In rural Kerala, no one uses maps. Our driver navigated unmarked roads by calling out to locals from his window. They told him by landmark where to take a turn. Finally, my father recognized the walled streets of his village, and from the road he showed me the house where he was born, though it wasn't in our family anymore. We couldn't drop in for tea. In a clearing, women took nimble backward steps as they spun coir rope from the fibers of coconut husks. If he had never left this place, one of those women would be me. Watching them work, I turned my palm fingers down to map my father's hometown. Here it is, in the first segment of my index finger, under the thatched roofs of the Malabar coast, at the edge of the Arabian Sea. This next poem captures
Is it just me or is Sneha frozen? Sneha, I don't know if you can hear us, but you seem to have frozen in the Canadian tundra. Not sure what to do here. She's just dropped out. Okay. I assume she's going to try to reconnect in a second. Not sure what happened there with her. She was doing well all the way up until she started reading. And I was digging it. So I think we will move on with the collab and try to get her back and go right back to her when she pops back on. So we'll, if she is able to get back on, then she will be up next. Otherwise, Martin Parker, you will be after the collab. So let us welcome now the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, and Siggy.
Okay, here we go. Let me share. And here we are in the windows. Okay, we're going to start with Kazuaki, who is on a boat to Sado Island. Hopefully on his way back by now, I'm not sure. But he wrote, Prodigy, trying to find friends in the thick, grassy desert. Always feels lonely until the time comes. Jackie.
Roaring traffic cares about no one. Even the poet's voice drowned out completely.
Beautiful. Red Hot Poker and Kangaroo Paws, our desert, turns wonderland. Here it comes. The prodigy waves a rainbow wand. Siggy.
Gifted and alone. How to fit in with the norm. Waiting for that time, then realizing each person is our own prodigy.
I love that, Siggy. Here comes Kazuaki from Japan on a boat to Sado Island. Flower baskets hanging from windows help me a lot to imagine who are behind them. Siggy.
Summer's curb appeal houses and gardens decked out. Who keeps the weeds at bay or grows the wildflowers?
Beautiful. And here's Jackie.
Looking out my balcony, I sigh about all my time spent as Rapunzel.
Oh, that's our favorite, Jackie.
Thank you.
Poets waving, flowers in every window. Their flower hats help a lot to know what's under them. Here's Kazuaki. He misses us, he told me, Rick. I miss Cobalt. Strolling red shadow slips through an electric pole, through by an electric pole, and barely steers clear of a black cloud, hovering ahead. Jackie.
Walking alone on the streets that abandoned me, my shadow remains a loyal companion.
Beautiful. Siggy.
Leisurely stroll, unaware of surroundings, luck of the day. Fast moving, cold black cloud, downpour washes paintings away.
Ooh. Left to our own devices, all the elements, earth, air, fire, and water concoct a potion for a paradise. That's what we have. Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
That was so
Thank you,
much fun.
everybody.
All right,
Yes, absolutely wonderful.
thank you
And
guys.
here's Rick. He'll show you his amazing flute.
Oh, it's just a Baroque flute replica of an instrument made in the mid 18th century by an English person in London. The maker's name is Cahusac, and I forgot his first name. It's
probably Phil Cahusac.
Phil, yeah. Or Joe Cahusac.
It's one of the two for sure. Thank you guys very much, especially for the short notice there. Cathabella, Jackie, Siggy, and Rick. Thank you guys for collabing it up for us. Round of applause for the collab. Looks like we have Sneha back, so we're going to say Martin Parker is on deck, and hopefully, Sneha, are you there?
I am here. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, Zoom kicked me out, and then it took me a while to get back in. I'm so sorry. So I think I managed to finish my one poem. I'll just start. The poem that I was going to read next is called Four, and it starts with a quote from Pablo Neruda, which reads, "Is four the same four for everybody?" My mother draws her four with a right angle. My father's is pointed on top. My daughter's four half the time is backward. Her sister signs, tucking a thumb into her raised palm. I just adore four, Big Bird sings, the number for me on an old record. Old meaning from a time when every kid knew how to drop a needle into a spinning vinyl groove. Four forces govern all things in the universe. Carbon's four valence electrons form the basis for all life. Our four limbs and four-chambered hearts, a four-leafed clover's lucky leaves. My father shows me how to write the number four in Malayalam. Nale, a round house with a curve of smoke escaping. He says no one uses these characters anymore. The next poem I'll read is a love poem. It's dedicated to my husband and inspired by the creation of the universe. It's called Cosmology. We used to think love was easy to find. We were quarks in the first femtoseconds of the universe, bound by nothing, unaware of broken symmetries around us. We were drawn together by forces we could not understand. Light scattered in every direction. We held each other tightly, a nucleus of the smallest element. Electrons bound, atoms condensed into quasars, luminous and all-consuming. Dust collapsed into fiery stars, radiating energy, populating the ether with heat. We could not say what led to this place, from where this cold and darkness. Ice and rock smashed together and created bigger rocks. We found ourselves in the curved arm of a barred spiral galaxy, on a molten planet orbiting a dwarf star. Bombarded by the past, it took time for molecules to form membranes and cells, little rooms where life could begin. We learned to catch the light, to make food and breathable air. We learned to breathe, to open our eyes and see the earth that we evolved beside. We learned to make music. We used to think love was easy to find. Now we know the universe expands from an unchangeable beginning to an unknowable end. Dark energy is impossible to define. What we know sustains us. You know this poem is narrow because I wrote it on a bookmark. I know it was you who found it, covered in illegible marks on the floor beside our bed. because you saved it on my desk for me to find in the morning. The next poem I'll read is one of my absolute favorite poems that I've ever written. It came about after I read an article about a particular species of dung beetle that navigates by the light of the Milky Way. And that fact called to me to write a poem. So this is called Dung Beetles. It takes tenacity to survive on others' shit. To fly into a fresh pile, still steaming, to break off a piece and roll it into a ball for easy transport. To roll it backwards with head to the ground, blind to rocks or holes in the road. It takes geometry to roll it in a straight line, always a straight line. A famous poet once told me the best poems are nonlinear, but a straight line is the quickest escape from would-be thieves. Thieves abound in the chaos of the mound, so the male beetle rolls his ball away, as straight and as far as he can. If a rock bars his path, he moves around it, then continues to roll. If he falls from a height, he climbs atop his ball and dances, then continues to roll. At night, never mind the lack of polarized skylight. Under the new moon, dung beetles roll their balls in straight lines. Never mind their tiny dorsal eyes, too poor to resolve particular stars. The steady brushstroke of the Milky Way is visible even to a beetle rolling a ball of dung. Never mind poetry's nonlinear logic. It takes faith to navigate by a galaxy. The last section of this book is all poems that were written during the last few years of my father's life. I'd like to read two short poems from this last section. This one is called My Father Comes to Me in a Dream. I sit at a small round table in front of a window overflowing with light. A young man slides into the chair beside me. I know a way to escape, he says. It is unmistakably my father, younger than I have ever known him. His hair is oiled and combed. He is dapper in a red sweater. I do not realize until that moment that I am trapped inside a column of light. Above and below and behind me is all aglow. But I am not alarmed or afraid. I am overjoyed to be with my father. There is no one else who knows me. And this one is called I Think of Dad While Buying a Sandwich. He always knew what it would be, BLT. Never checked the menu, just asked, BLT? I can still hear his voice, how he pronounced BLT. It was the first sandwich he ever bought, a BLT. In a new country, it was easy for him to say BLT. After that, it was the only sandwich he ever bought, a BLT. If Dad were here, he'd be asking for a BLT. There are things that sound better to me than BLT, but Dad will be here if I order a BLT. I'm going to set my book aside for now, and I'd like to read the poem that I sent to Rick for a broadside for this event. It's actually an older poem of mine. I wrote it about 12 years ago, and it's another poem inspired by another one of the incredible forms of life on Earth. This poem is called Dinoflagellates. Whirling whips, these single-celled drifters flail their flagella and spin in the tide. Since the Triassic, they've nourished the world's largest beings. Calories for the sharks and whales, oxygen for the dinosaurs and the rest of us on shore. They can also turn water red as blood, poisoning those who encounter them. At night, unable to photosynthesize, they make their own light. The sea fills with flickering stars. a miniature cosmos laps at our feet. And I have another poem that I wrote after reading an article. This was a news story about birds often die after collisions with windows. And there was a particular story about a single night when, due to the schedule of their migration and the weather conditions, thousands of birds died in a single city in a single night. So this poem is called Fall. Cool autumn winds beckon southward after so many warm days. Millions of night migrants, warblers, sparrows, grosbeaks, take to the sky. One morning, pre-dawn rain forces them to lower their altitude, and the humans have left the lights on again. Across the big city, birds attracted to illuminated windows fly head-on to their deaths. This could be any story, any city, any early morning, but I am thinking now of Chicago on October 5th, 2023. By daybreak, the heavy rain had ended. People awoke and readied themselves for any other Thursday. Soft bodies of songbirds on the sidewalks. I'll end with just one more poem. Before I do, thank you again, Rick, for having me. It's been my pleasure to share some of my work with you. To close my reading tonight, I'm going to go back to my book and read the final poem from here. It's a poem called Frost Flowers. Rootless, they require no soil. Their seeds are imperfections on the surface of the sea. They bloom when temperatures plummet and disappear sometimes within hours. If I could speak a native Arctic tongue, I would have told you this in the space of a single breath. They suck salt from the ocean. I could hold one in my mouth. By the thousands, they release aerosols that alter polar atmospheres. Their crystalline hollows, abundant with bacteria, are home to more life than the sea ice beneath them. If I could convey in words the splendor of such small things, I would not be afraid of living such a short time. Thank you.
Sneha, thank you. That was a really beautiful set of poems. A lot to take in and comment on. I love the line in the poem that ended, "I'll always have fond memories of Detroit." I've never been to Detroit, but I've always found it an intriguing place that it's on my bucket list of places that I want to go and check out. And that line reminded me of that. I'm curious, can you talk for a second about using your hands as a map? You said that as if that's a thing from Michigan. What does that
It
mean?
is definitely a thing for Michigan. So the right palm looks like the Lower Peninsula. So if you meet someone from Michigan, they'll say, "This is where I'm from," and they'll use their palm as their map of Michigan.
Lucky you. I mean, the rest of us without body parts that are good for as maps of where we live, and you guys can just go. That's amazing. I'm gonna keep that as in my archive of interesting things. Uh, I love the concept, the poem about the creation of the universe and the whole idea that giant, unimaginable thing all eventually kind of led to the exact scientific conditions for you to have the love that you have with your husband. That was beautiful. And in general, that like the scientific inspiration that I think was in a lot of your poems. That was followed up by the dung beetle one. All of that was really cool, and I know that people commented on that in the chat. So check out some of the comments before you go. I know it's late and past your bedtime where you are. Fantastic set of poems. I'm glad that science allowed you to reconnect and continue to share with us. I'm pasting some stuff in the chat. and I'm going to share the screen to show folks the broadside I made for your poem that you read. There it is. People can download this now if they would like. The Cobalt Poets website link has been pasted in the chat, or just go to the Cobalt website and click on broadsides, and you can download this 11 by 17 print. I hope you'll consider contributing to the virtual hat that is being passed around for our featured reader. In this case, there's a PayPal link, so please do consider dropping some tip into the PayPal hat to support our featured reader and thank her for her reading. In addition to doing that, or another great way to support a poet, of course, is by buying their book. And there are two links to Elementary Particles, the book that Sneha read from, mostly one at Amazon, one at bookshop.org. You can get it from the publisher. There's other places as well if those links don't do it for you. And then finally, there's a link to Sneha's website as well. Sneha, thank you so much for being here, for staying up late for us, and giving us a really wonderful, thoughtful, scientific, and beautiful set of poems.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
All right, round of applause for our featured reader, Sneha Madhavan-Reese. Thank you, Sneha. Thanks for representing Canada for us tonight as well. I will quickly mention that next week, our featured reader will be Aaron Tyler Hand, another poet whose poem showed up to me in the morning. So looking forward to hearing Aaron's work next week. Just as a heads up, I'll mention this later too. The following 2 weeks, I will be out of town heading on vacation. So next week is our last reading before that, and then we'll be back in July as well, continuing on as always. So that leads us to the rest of tonight's open reading. Here's who I have left on the list: Martin Parker, Bill Gaines, Jared Campbell, Michael G. Hickey, Hermione, Heidi Casa, Digwayne, Ted Burke, and me. If anyone would like to be added, if I missed anyone, please send me a message in the chat. Happy to add you. 2 poems maximum, less is more is the suggested time limit. Bill, you're on deck. Please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. Wonderful set. Thank you so much, everyone that's gone before. I've got a couple poems about walking, including one that's connected with my t-shirt here, which I think I've shown before. But let's start with the first one here. I think I've read both of these here before, but it's been a little while. But I've been thinking about them. So this one is called At the Walk to End Hydrocephalus, 2025. She's holding a sign with the number 16. As I hold her hand and remember what that means, we recently went to the ER again. A false alarm, but we look forward to when for hydrocephalus they'll find a cure, and this recurring worry will no longer endure, as the need for these brain surgeries could disappear, and so many could live with a little less fear. And this is about a typical Saturday, called Woods Walker. I walk through the woods across the stream, moving from stone to stone, then rest on a rock like times before, savoring a moment alone. The echoing water burbles along, gently calming my nerves, till soon I get up to climb the hill, padding on roots with curves, supporting the trunks that I slide by, ascending up out of the trees, to head to the grocery once again, remembering how to breathe. And thank you so much, everyone. I'll put my usual links in case anybody wants to check out my multilingual artwork, like my wave behind me and my, oops, where'd it go? My snow leopard. I got a hat today, too. Thank you so much, everyone.
Snow leopard hats are cool. Thank you, Martin. Yeah, remembering to breathe, that's really important. And my understanding, the key to immortality, not stopping breathing. So just throwing some more science out there for anyone interested. Thanks for being here, Martin. Round of applause for Martin Parker. On deck, Jared Campbell. Please welcome Bill Gaines. Hi, Bill.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Sneha, what a wonderful set. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. I I picked up on a walking theme as well as a space theme this evening, so I'm going to lean into that. I have two poems. This first one is called Photons in Motion. Photons in motion push the spirit of the cosmos from galaxy to galaxy, touching the untouchable, massless and free, singing the song of time. Light never fades. The darkness is in distance. And that one, second one is called The View is Deadly Beauty. Low dip bang inside the mind with echoes in reality makes progress in the moment, but the moment is a spacewalk and the view is deadly beauty. Don't worry about the moving target, just survive. Now, that's it for me.
Also, another clue to immortality: survive. As long as you do that, you've made it. Bill, well done.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Bill Gaines, giving us another tip on how to live forever. Another good theme for tonight. On deck, Michael G. Hickey. Please welcome Jared Campbell. Hi, Jared.
Hello. So, I've got two poems. The first has to do with once I was in a city where they're not accustomed to cold winters, but they had an unusually cold winter, and it killed lots of the trees that had been planted in the city. So there was an entire street full of trees all along the sidewalk that had all died during the frost. And this is called, But If Not, After That You Can Cut It Down. Their amputated limbs held up, as if appealing for a stay of execution, as if they hope new shoots, given time out of their stumps, might spring. They stand in line, almost as if obedience could sway decisions otherwise accounted for. It's said this winter was the coldest in a century. Never having felt a frost before, hundreds of sidewalk trees have failed to open leaves to welcome spring, and limbs that bear no leaves will be cut off. Orderly lines of trees, all city trees chosen by man, are now by man condemned for failing nature's test. Able to hide their disability in winter, clothed behind the universal barrenness, now that the city is awake and wears its customary greens and pinks and whites, they grow more naked every day and more obnoxious to the powers that planted them. Unlike those spared winter's election, who must bear the umbrage of spring's luxury and tremble in the wind, the line is still. They only stand and wait. The daylight fails, and yet the men have come to cut their roots. And then the second is inspired by W.H. Auden's poem, The Shield of Achilles. This is called The Shield of Aeneas. Passing the tailor to the Prince of Wales, Rolex, the King of Belgium's chocolatier, and all the other shops that bring in sales sufficient to survive the rents charged here on Fifth, the trucks and taxis disappear toward downtown. Fast, but mostly, with respect to custom, safety, and our laws, correct. Above, behind the windows glowing gold, are men on phones seeking each other's consent to a transaction, growing tired and old. 2 blocks away, their lawyers, pale, intent, draft according to their precedents. This form investment's grade, and that's subprime. And life goes by, 6 minutes at a time. Altogether elsewhere, and unseen, the sacrifices to our rule of law who demands not blood but agency. Between their narrow walls, razor wire ringed, draw the silent thread of time out of the flaw in its silver ball. Eyes closed, the rule has vowed to spare the conquered and to break the proud.
Jared, thank you very much. Well-crafted poetry tonight. Appreciate you being here with us. Round of applause for Jared Campbell. Thank you so much, Jared.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, on deck, Hermione, please welcome Michael G. Hickey. Hello, Michael.
Hello, everyone. I have two short poems this evening. The first one was in the Atlanta Review a long time ago. It's called Linda's Home Improvement Loan. Linda went to the bank, borrowed $2,000, and gave it all to her uninspired, unemployed boyfriend, Darnell. Here, she said, get out of my house. Thank you, Linda's Home Improvement Loan. And this one, I have two sons, one's 16, one's 20. This is for my 20-year-old. I wrote when I saw the ultrasound. So this is, for my son, Nathan. I should tell you right now, it looks more like an alien archive shot from Area 51 or a satellite photo from a level 3 hurricane, but it is you, my son, alive in your mother's womb, heart beating like the frantic wings of a hummingbird, both real and surreal. I love you already, even though you're just the size of an avocado. You carry the weight of the moon in your hands, haikus in your eyes, and your impressive little penis. But I should tell you right now, son, I don't golf, play poker, or go to the racetrack. And the last time I went fishing, I accidentally poked the eye out of a rainbow trout as I tried to set him free. Thank you.
Michael, thank you. Nice couple of shorties from you tonight. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Michael G. Hickey. Thanks for joining in the hat game as well. Very good. On deck, Heidi Casa. Please welcome Hermione. Hi, Hermione. Hermione, don't forget to unmute. Okay, well, I'm not sure where Hermione is or if she knows to unmute, so we're going to come back to her and say on Hermione, I see you're sharing your screen, but you're not unmuted. There you go. Okay.
I don't know why I'm not able. Good evening, everyone. Lady Justice. Lady Justice is not blind. At times, she does have cataracts that need to be removed. The fight. Equal, not equal, rights, no rights, justice, no justice. Continue the fight. Thank you.
Very good, Hermione. Well done unmuting, sharing your screen, and delivering your poems. A success in Cobalt Poets land, as it were. And thanks for all the promoting of the YouTube page that you're doing as well. Really appreciate that.
Everybody sign up and have your friends, at least 10 friends and 10 of their friends, and let's build that channel up.
Yes, please. All right. Round of applause for Hermione. Thank you, Hermione. On deck, Dig Wayne. Please welcome Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. I like Lady Justice's cataracts. I have two. Pausing time. More than half the streetlights are off. More danger, more snakes afoot. Fireflies blink through the evening, tiny sparks sharpening my senses. In the peripheral, decoding house lights from transient magic. Opening at each firefly on my eye's path. Wonder at increasing numbers. My hands flip open in offering and readiness, like when setting a volleyball. When opening drawers, when giving help, when accepting healing, my wrists bend into a natural posture of pausing. My hands used to rise above my head and rest a beat, waiting for the ball. This gesture returns to me in my open palms. I wonder what huge thing I'm preparing for. Will these snapped wrists, these upturned hands hold its size, its heft, its shine? In the pause, truth's pulse. Those with badges call them lies. The spaces between question and answer, where I hear the soul gathering to voice what cannot be voiced. Naming cruelty gets a slap or worse. It's truth in the pause, where people were silenced, so someone could feed power. A people's quiet, survival tunnel may indicate lost vibrance, spirit, or deep healing, or both, bubbling for the moment of singing revival. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Where people were silenced so someone could feed power. Thank you for that line and sentiment as well. You probably could have just pointed to the news, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here. Always good to see you here. Round of applause for Heidi Casa.
Thank you.
On deck, Ted Burke. Please welcome Dig Wayne. Hello, Dig.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. I'm going to read a very new one. I just wrote it a little while ago in the car sitting in Ralph's parking lot. And I'm breaking I'm sinning tonight because I have to read it off my phone because I didn't have time to print it. Please forgive me. It's called Cool Old Guys. Dropping like flies. One by one, they fall, leaving music, history, places in time. Deep cuts, track 2, track 3, side 2. Where were you? Boomers rode the crest when garage bands were people, not an app. 3 chords were enough to be waiting for the man. White t-shirt, rolled sleeve, cigarette pocket. What you gonna believe? PET scans, chest cough, rock and roll heart, soul station late at night, Chicago after dark, romanticized, metastasized, flowers by the door, good news, bad news, we've heard it all. Before cool old guys dropping like flies, did they hear about you yet? Thank you. Thanks.
Just the one?
Yeah, just the one new one.
I wasn't sure how long of a writing session in the car it was, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of came and went, you know, so right now I'm in the middle of fixing dinner, so I'm keeping an ear, but I really enjoyed the feature. I love her, that nature stuff and the dung beetles. That was really good. She really caught my ear with that, you know, as I'm running around the kitchen. It's very good. I think she's not here now, but I enjoyed that.
She did let me know ahead of time that it was way past her bedtime and she wasn't going to stay much longer. So one of the things we just have to accept sometimes. We can't, you know, demand people be awake at weird times if it's not their.
No, especially in the Midwest. You know, Midwest that's a special place. You know, Ohio, Michigan, all those places out there.
I mean, Ottawa. You know, does that count as the Midwest?
Nah. That's not in America. I'm sorry. You know that.
Sure.
Come on.
Understood.
What are you trying to get away with over here?
as much as I can.
I understand.
Honestly, it's not a sin to read off your phone, Dig, by the way.
I think it is. I consider that a sin in my book. To me, that's a sin. I see people who are off their phones. I'm just old school, man. I'm a cool old guy. Sorry, dropping like flies.
My poetry reading life changed dramatically when everything went to my iPad. Is that different if you're reading off an iPad?
An iPad is different. I've seen you read off your iPad, Rick. It doesn't offend me like a phone because your iPad is for writing and things like that. A phone, you do so many things on the phone to squeeze poetry in there too. I find it disrespectful to the poetry that you're putting poetry in the midst of all that other stuff you do with your phone. Don't get me started.
Let me ask. I just need to say this because I write all these travel books, right?
Yes.
So most of those are written on my phone, like while tooling around wherever I'm going.
That's different because I write on my notes on my phone, but I don't read it off of my phone. I print it.
Okay.
So that's a little different because you can't, you're on your phone, you move around, you got to write it when you think of it on your phone. That's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm relieved. I almost thought my entire writing career was just delegitimized by the third religion started tonight, the one in which it's a sin to read off your phone.
I'm strict, but I'm not an asshole.
Very good. Dig, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you. I have to go. I have to go finish my dinner. Okay.
Sure. Understood. Okay.
Thank you all.
All right.
Goodbye.
Round of applause for the hungry Dig Wayne, whose family is emaciating just in the other room as we speak. I'm on deck to close out the open reading. Please welcome now Ted Burke. Hello, Ted.
Hey everybody, I'm Ted, and thank you for a wonderful reading. I'm a Michigander, and I have a walking poem. But first, I'd like to thank Denise and Rick for the instantaneous inspiration for this poem. And it's like a prompt, and it's called "Bring Me the Head of." Bring me the head of lettuce that gave us roiled leaves on the bread and the mottled meat that stares at me from the chipped plate. Give me the neck of the woods where the nape of the grapes stretch far beyond the head that every saxophonist you've heard riffs on as the rain makes my shampooed hair damp as we lean into the wind named Mariah or Jill or June, the last woman I thought of before a dream outran my dreams. And this, another short one called We Walk Behind the Moon. We walk behind the moon to the bay where the white glow casts a shimmering path on the black water. Houses with flat tops or pitched roofs line the shore, and the arc bright as a child seeing a magic trick. We find the rounded sand to our liking. We pause long enough to see our breath vaporize and dispense the devils that follow our indulgences. There are miracles afoot that are faceless, nameless, the cause unknown but present in the world revealed once the dictionaries have been put aside and put asleep, and it takes away the words and leaves us with a vision. The sun rises over the ocean and the shoreline. Homes reflect the light in silent gold flares of exactitude. We don't pray, but are stunned by a waking world that will learn again how to walk and talk in a commotion, arriving just in time for who knows what. Thank you.
Ted, thank you very much. Great pieces tonight. I appreciate you jumping in on the theme there. I think Bring Me the Head of is going to be a new wave of poetry, and everyone's just going to be writing that for a while, and we're going to see what happens. And I appreciate you helping lead the way there. Thank you for being here. Round of applause for Ted Burke. I'm going to close out the reading with two poems. The first one is from Hi Moose Alert. Getting towards the end of this trip in this book, and one of the last things we got to do is visit Denali, which is, as you may know, a national park in Alaska that is gorgeous and has all kinds of interesting things. And so this is A short piece I wrote there called On the Denali Shuttle. 1. People much older than us, which is almost everyone, get on the Denali Shuttle. I have a deep desire to live at least as long and terrible fear of being that old. 2. I'm looking deeply into the forest for eyes. 3. We see the aurora borealis on the bus driver's phone while he has a couple minutes to kill at a bus stop. 4. And emerging from the forest up ahead, a clearing reveals a human vehicle parking lot. So much magic in Denali. There really was a lot of magic there, despite the tongue-in-cheek last image of that piece. This second poem, written for this week's Torah portion, is titled in Hebrew Shlach, which means in English send, and the poem is called Small Eyes. God told Moses to send scouts to the promised land, so they knew where it was this whole time. They came back like grasshoppers, not hopping, but small. The words they said were an evil report. They almost died of stones. Egypt started looking pretty good to the complainers. This led to the 40-year delay. They walked and walked until they were dead, except for their children who were now approaching 40 years old. Hardly children anymore, except for Moses and Caleb and Joshua, the oldest of men, the ones who said, we could eat that fruit now if we want. We could be dousing our manna in fig honey if we want. No one thought to say during the walking, you know, it's just over there. Unclear if there really were giants and fallen angels and Canaanites galore, or if their eyes were just too small. All right, everybody, or ladies and gentle them, if we're trying to be extra inclusive. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I want to also thank again our featured reader, Sneha Madhavan-Reese. I know she's not here, but I do want to give her the props she deserves for her reading. You can again tip her there if you would like to at the PayPal link. You can download her broadside at the Cobalt Poets website. You can click on calendar when you're there to see who is coming up next. Next week it's Aaron Tyler Hand, then 2 weeks off, and then we'll be back later in July. If you're not getting our weekly emails, click on email list there and add your email if you would like to get those. There's also 2 links to Sneha's most recent book, Elementary Particles, which she read a lot of poems from, so you can check that out there. And there is a link to her website as well. That is it. That is everything I need to tell you. I'm going to click on Ask All to unmute so we can all hang for a few minutes.
Yeah,
Hanging out.
Oh, that was a wonderful evening. And on that
Thank
note,
you, everybody. That was so much fun.
That was
Yes.
great.
It was. Everybody was great tonight.
Really good. See you next week.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
yeah.